Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, at this time I'd like to yield 7 minutes to Mr. Hoekstra of Michigan, the ranking member on the Intelligence Committee.
Gentleman from Michigan is recognized for 7 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker, excuse me. Thank you. This debate is about whether or not America is a great nation that will lead in the face of difficulty. We have come up short. This resolution falls short. It is small and not worthy of this House. Why small? Let me begin with a threat that some either don't understand or refuse to acknowledge. This resolution does not address the fact that the current threat is not just the single front in Iraq, but rather the larger threat of militant Islamic jihadists who hate us enough to want to kill. These militant Islamic jihadists are a fringe element of Islam who have very specific ideas and goals about how to revive Islam, return Muslims to world power, and how to deal with their enemies. They are committed to a violent overthrow of existing international systems and to their replacement by an all-encompassing Islamic State called the Caliphate. In explaining his approach to creating the Caliphate, centered in Iraq, Al-Qaeda's number 2 leader, Zawahiri, outlined a 4-stage plan. Stage 1, expel the Americans from Iraq in defeat. Stage 2, create an Islamic religious government in Iraq, developing and supporting it until it achieves a level of a caliphate. Stage 3, extend the jihad wave to secular countries neighboring Iraq. And Stage 4, clash with Israel, because Israel was established only to challenge any new Islamic entity. I think you get the picture. Let me also be clear, this jihad is about them, their God, and their religion. It is not about us. These militant jihadists believe that the modern world has forsaken the pure religious life, and that only with a caliphate can they return to, quote, pure life. It is this narrow ideology that poses the direct and real threat to us. It is this ideology that threatens not only us, but also includes the belief that killing other Muslims is justified to achieve their radical goals. Ms.
Bend. The chair wants to remind members that the Speaker, the gentleman from Michigan, deserves the full attention and quiet of the House. So I'm going to ask again, if you're having conversations, please take them off the floor. It's so distracting. The gentleman may resume.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Here is the true threat to America and the world. This militant Islamic jihad, a jihad that attacks around the globe, including the United States and Iraq. The resolution we debate today does not address this global problem, this threat to peace and stability. Iraq is not the problem. It's only one front in this larger war. The second point, this resolution omits specifically all the men and women of the armed forces who are defending our freedoms in other theaters, such as Kuwait, Afghanistan, and Bosnia. It says, by not saying, that this Congress may not support troops who will be sent to Iraq. Is this intentional? Is this part of the plan to choke off funding for our troops? I also take great umbrage that this resolution omits and completely slights the incredible contributions to this nation's security of our dedicated men and women in the intelligence community, many serving in Iraq, who provide our combat troops with the information vital to their security. Is this the first step in cutting off their funding too? Returning to the Clinton administration's policies of the 1990s that decimated our intelligence capabilities. Finally, Madam Speaker, I need to address the issue of the consequences of failure. What happens if Iraq collapses due to a sudden withdrawal of U.S. troops? Our enemies have made it clear that they will fill the void. Surely America is weary of the conflict in Iraq, but the difficulty of this conflict does not justify giving in to their strategy. Yes, their strategy. They believe that they are winning by wearing America down. Will we quit? Do we understand the consequences? Make no mistake, this resolution is a dangerous and naive first step to cutting funding to our troops and an unwise withdrawal from the region. Iraq is not a faraway place where the United States has no interest and where we can pull our troops out of without paying a price in the global war against militant Islam. This debate is not about Iraq. It is about us as a nation of people who do the right thing. The fundamental question is, do we have the resolve that will be necessary to defeat radical militant Islamic jihadists, to contain bad actors such as Iran, and will we stand and fight for the future of our kids and their kids? We have faced similar threats before. In 1945, my parents were liberated by Canadians and American troops in the Netherlands. They never forgot the sacrifices that were made by brave soldiers and by a great nation on a great mission. America did it for them, but it also did it for itself. America recognized that the threat was a direct threat to America and the world. We then led a global effort to victory. Today we face a very different, but again, a very real threat. Radical militant Islam. The challenge to this Congress is to rise to the occasion, to help lead America and to help lead the world to victory. This petty resolution falls far short of that noble and worthy calling. Vote no. We can and we must do better. With that, I yield back the balance of my time.